Hello, and welcome to episode 455 of Prog Review. Today I'm talking about Tony Banks' The Fugitive. It was released in 1983, June, a few months before Genesis released the Shapes self-titled album. Tony Banks. Look, you know. I mean, I'm not a big fan. And this. I mean, I've heard bits of it thanks to, A Chord Too Far and whatnot. But this is the first time I'd heard this album in its entirety because, I don't believe in sticking your hand in the fire. It's a mystery. It's a mystery to me how someone like Tony Banks can make albums like this. I mean, this is a guy who's in Genesis and he writes, great songs and or co-written great songs, and there's solo songs with the band, and then we get this, and it is just I can't put it into words just how wrong it is. And it's not like it's the music's bad or even his singing. I mean, because he sings on this. This is where it's like different to A Curious Feeling. He actually sings on all the songs, and it's not like his voice is bad. I mean, he probably have a good voice for folk, and in some moments it's kind of got this kind of frigidity to it that reminds me of Syd Barrett for some reason. But I don't know. I can't put my finger on what is wrong with this album and Tony Banks. I think there's a naivety about it. It's like he's never recorded an album before. It's like he's just been left alone, with his first keyboard, and and it's because it's got that kind of. I mean, I'm just talking about people who, at the start of their career, they record, albums that are, a little bit naive. It's that youthful thing. But this is a guy who's, he's knocking on a bit. He's not knocking on a bit, but you know what I mean. He's been involved in a few records, and I mean, like I said, I can't put it into words why this doesn't work for me. I don't know. I mean, even if a different vocalist was involved, I don't think it would work. You get this also, there's this obsession with thematic obsession with the city and the street and the dark and the rain, and I'm not sure if that's meant to give it some sort of weight, these songs. Like This Is Love, it's supposed to be a love song, but he's talking about looking out the window, and the rain and the window and the hey nonny nonny, and I don't know, just bloody awful. Man of Spells, that's awful too. Wheels Keep Turning, Say You'll Never Leave Me. 33s is an instrumental, and it's like it's a right turgid, bloody awful, bloody turgid rubbish. By You is awful. At the Edge of the Night, he decides to, kind of crank things up a bit. It's a bit more hard and heavy. The drums come out, boom, 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 boom. But it's still crap. And then we have Charm. Now, Charm, again, it's another instrumental, and it sounds like, and it just is hot. I don't get it. In fact, it's funny because Charm actually reminded me of something that sounded like Andy Phillips would have done on his 1984 album. It's got that kind of, and because Andy Phillips isn't necessarily a keyboard player, so his keyboard stuff is a little bit more, can be a little bit more, I don't know, left field. So but and then moving under, and then you've got a couple of bonus tracks which are awful too. And if you want a good laugh, there's a promo video on the DVD. Surround sound mix is great. Can't polish a turd though, and at least they've remembered to put the bass channel in this time. Thanks, Esoteric. Thanks for doing that. They left it out on the Anthony Phillips Wise After the Event album. I mean, it's one for the fans, isn't it? Really, it's for those who collect all Genesis stuff, and even the alumni. It's for one of those. I'm a bit more selective, I pick and choose, who I like, and and I say this is. it just boggles my mind. It just boggles my mind how someone. But then that's the thing with these bands. If you look at all these bands, it's very rare for a solo. One of the put the teeth in. I'll start again. So I'm at loss at what to say about this, because it is just. If it was somebody who wasn't Tony Banks, you'd go, yeah, it's a bit of a shit album. But because of who it is, it just doesn't make sense to me. How, one, he could record this, and two, how fucking charisma would have put it out back in the day. No one's there saying, Tony, it's a bit pony. But they didn't. They just released it. Genesis was it some of its parts? And some of the parts do better on their own than other parts. Some of the parts are spare parts, and some of the parts are major parts. They're major organs. I'm talking about Gabriel, Mr. Collins again. Lacks Collins's arrangement, and it lacks the emotional stuff that the flights of fantasy that Mr. Hackett brings to the table. It's a funny old fucker. Not for me, but I'm sure many of you out there lap it up and say, Darren, you've got it wrong, you're horrible, you're terrible, you're worst reviewer ever. But you tell me this is a good album, and I call you a liar. This is it. You're lying. This is not a good album. Terrible. This makes A Curious Feeling look like The Lamb. I mean, I can understand why people like A Curious Feeling after hearing this, because it's got the big chords and it sounds a bit like Duke in places, and it sounds like he's channeling the Genesis in this. Yeah, you get flashes of bits of Genesis, but it's a stinker. It really is. It should have been called The Stinker. There's a reason why he's a fugitive, because everybody wants their money back and they want to throw their albums at him. But yeah, this is of course a definitive edition. This has been reissued by Esoteric. It comes. You've seen the unboxing. Surely it's got a little booklet with him looking moody in it and everything. I can't comment on the new stereo mix because I didn't hear the old one. The surround sound is they do a fair job of it, because they're good at doing the surround sound now. Pick it up before it gets deleted. They did it with A Curious Feeling, and these bookcase versions end up being quite collectible. So if you are interested in buying it, get it now. But in terms of a rating, I give the album 1 charm out of 5. It's just awful. That's 1 charm out of 5. I can see no good in this. There's absolutely no good in this record. And I know I'm going to make the enemies of people and the fans. I'm getting fed up with doing this. This is a thankless job. It really is. It really is a thankless job. Everybody hates me. Nobody likes me because I'll say what I think. But yeah, Tony Banks, A Fugitive. Well, he's been Darren Rock. It truly is an awful album. I'm sure they get worse. Thanks for watching. There's only one more thing to do, and that's Prog on.